In this video, we're going to learn how to create a short stop frame animation in the style of Terry Gilliam. So make sure you've got a clear desktop before you start. Put anything that's not important into a file so you're not going to confuse the images that you create with the ones that you've already got. So Terry Gilliam, he creates these short stories, these very, very short stories, even a few seconds. Let's have an example of one of his animations just to show you what I mean. Okay, so we have a character, they come into shop and they go on a journey and then they're crushed by a big boot. Now this, like any good story, has a beginning, a middle and an end. The introduction of the character, the movement of the character or the journey, and then the conclusion, what happens in the end. Now we're going to create our own short story, and it's only going to be a few seconds long in this video. And I'm going to demonstrate all the techniques through a program called Pixelate. We're going to import it into iMovie to make it into an exportable movie. Now, Terry Gilliam often uses famous paintings, especially old paintings. So go to Google Chrome and we're going to type in National Gallery painting. Then we're going to go to images, then search tool to make the images large. And the reason we work from large images is because we don't want the movie to pixelate when we play it on the big screen. So I'm scrolling down the images from the National Gallery and there's a huge selection, and what we need to pick out is two things: a landscape and a character. It seems like the ratio is quite similar. We've got pretty much 50% landscape and 50% characters in a way. And so I'm going to choose this dragon by Yule and I'm going to drag this image into the desktop. There it goes, and we've captured that on the desktop. And now we'll just make the screen big again so we can see what we're doing. Going all the way down, looking for images that we want. So we're looking for a landscape now, and I think this one there is a canaletto. So let's take that. Just a little boat scene. Ah, Venice. Okay. So we can drag that onto the desktop from that drop-down menu. And that's all we need. So once we've got the images that we want, we can open a different tab and we can type in pixelate.com. And this is a program very similar to Photoshop. We're going to scroll down and on the left you'll see Launch Web App. So click on that. Then create a new image. Now, if we go down, scroll down, and at the bottom we've got Movie 1080p. And that is the ratio that we want. That's perfect for what we want, so press OK. So now we have a white screen, and we're now going to import the images that we want. So we've got the landscape first, and it comes in this little box. What we're going to do is edit and select all, and then edit, cut. We can now close that document. No, we don't want to save. And edit and paste. Now you'll see it's too small. Let's resize this window so we can make it a little bit bigger so we can see more clearly what we're doing. And then edit, free transform, and then you pull that out the sides. Now whilst I do this, I'm also pressing shift so it keeps the proportions correct. If I don't press shift, then it stretches it and contorts it in all different directions. But I just want it just in proportion. And I'm going to stretch it till it fills the whole screen and then reposition it using the free transform. And OK. And press yes. I'll just rearrange some of these elements here so I can see almost the whole screen. And now we're going to open another image. We're going to open that dragon image by Yule, and here it is. And we're going to cut out the dragon from this because we don't want the landscape around it, we just want that dragon. So I'll zoom in so I can see more clearly all the details. And using the navigator at the side, I'm going to pull down that little screen there so I can see the dragon's face and a little bit of the claws and things. Now, the tool that we want to use is called the Polygon Lasoo. I'm going to click on that icon that looks like a lasso and then go to the top, and you see that polygon looking thing like a sharp edged lasso, and that's what we want. And then I'm going to zoom in and I can click round the edge of the claws. So this is the bit that's going to take the most time. The idea is that we go all the way round the claw and the jaw there, and we select all of that area there. I'm going to speed this up so you can see what we've got. So now that you've got all the way round that claw, you can tie that end up and you've got that whole area selected. So now I'm going to move up on the dragon and I'm going to hit shift. You'll notice by hitting shift there's a little plus that comes next to your cursor, and that means that you're adding to the stuff that you've already selected. So when I select this area now, that will add to what we've already got. I'm going to move even further up and I'll get this area here. Now, if this is too complicated for the skills you've got so far, then by all means choose a simpler character to select. The easiest being standing figures, which may only need a couple of clicks to select the whole thing. This dragon, on the other hand, is very complicated. It's got lots of edges, and this Polygon Lasoo is the only way really to get the detail that I'm after. I'm going to speed through this process now because it does take a long time. And if you accidentally deselect the area, then you can edit and step backwards and then start from where you last left off. We're just getting the end of that curved tail there and that final wing. Anything else? It's all done. Great. Once it's zoomed out, you can see that there's this moving line all around the dragon, and that means that the whole of the dragon is selected. So what I'm going to do now is edit and cut to see how it's removed it from that screen. So now I'm going to close that. We don't want save. No. And then edit and paste on top. And there it is. The dragon on the landscape. So there's my character in her setting. For the first shot, I don't want to see the dragon immediately, so I'm going to push the dragon off screen. I'm going to use the Edit Free Transform tool just to move that dragon round too, because I prefer this angle here. So now we file and save as. And we're going to name this image. We're going to call it Dragon 1 because we're going to go up in a sequence. Dragon 1, Dragon 2, Dragon 3, Dragon 4, and so on, until we've finished all our frames. To do with the format, we'll keep it as JPEG, but we'll boost the quality to 100, then press OK, and you've made your first image. Make sure it's in the desktop as well. Now we're going to move the dragon into shot by about, I'd say, 1 centimeter, and then save as Dragon 2. Boost the quality of the JPEG and OK, and OK again onto that desktop. We're moving the dragon further, file, save as Dragon 3, and then boost the quality and OK. I think you get the idea. So I'm going to move on now. I'm going to do all these shots, saving as I go, all the way up, and saving lots and lots of files, making sure the movement isn't too sudden, or else it won't look like it's moving very well. So now we have the dragon into shot, and she's roughly in the middle of the screen. So I'm going to experiment a little bit more. I'm going to take that dragon on a journey. So it's walked in. I'm going to adjust the colors. So I'll change the hue and saturation. So adjustments, hue and saturation, and I'm going to pull it a bit down. You'll see the dragon's gone purple. And I can move the dragon up a little bit at the same time, and file, save, and that can be dragon 14. I'll do the same thing, adjustments, saturation and hue. You can also use the tools that you've already come across now. So for instance, free transform. I can use that to twist the dragon round even further, and that can form another part of the motion that I create. There are other adjustments to do with the color that you can use. I'm also starting to make the dragon larger now using the free transform tool. So I'm going to zoom in so close that you can't see much detail at all. That's all of my images. And they're all saved as top quality JPEGs. And there they are on the desktop. So now we're going to move on to a different program. Now that all the images that we've created are on the desktop, I'm going to select them all and I'm going to drag them into a folder. I've named the folder Dragon Folder, very original. And once everything is neat and tidy and organized, I can then start the program iMovies. So from Pixelate to manipulate the images, to iMovies to transform them into a moving image. So we need to open the Dragon Folder file and select them all again. So 1 to 38 in this case. You hold down the Shift key so you select them all and drop into the top left hand corner box. And this may take a moment, be patient. And there we have it. The images have been imported into iMovie. Now I'm going to adjust the amount of time that each clip takes. So if you click on that small blue box at the bottom of one of the images, you'll notice a drop down menu that comes down and you'll see the title Clip Adjustments. And we're going to play around with that. So let's put the duration up to 4.0 seconds. Done. So let's play the clip from the beginning. The dragon is slowly coming in from that left side. But you see it's doing a funny zooming thing where it zooms in and out and in and out. It's not exactly what I expected it to do. So now we're going to edit and select all and clip adjustments and bring it down to 0.2 and done. Now that'll get the speed up so it's not too slow, but you still have got that weird zooming in and out thing going on, this shakiness. Now that is called the Ken Burns, and we're going to remove that using that same blue box in one of the images. Go to one of the images and click on the little box in the bottom left hand corner and you'll get the drop down menu, and this time go to cropping, Ken Burns and rotation. Once you've clicked that button, you'll see in the top right hand screen, I'll point at it. At the moment Ken Burns is selected. What we want is fit and then done. The top right. Okay, and that's got rid of the Ken Burns effect. So we're left with a still landscape and the movement of the dragon as it does its thing. Now it's time to export. So share, then export movie. Then we'll call it Dragon Stop Motion, and everything else should stay the same. Export and close and close. And on the desktop, there it is. We'll double click. It's starting in the GOM player. We don't want that. Let's start it in QuickTime. Right click, and then QuickTime Player. I'll make it big so you can see it. And only 7 seconds, but here it goes. Play. The dragon comes across, it changes colour, it flips, and then it flies into you and disappears. So a beginning, a middle, and an end. The character is introduced, it does stuff, and then it is changed somehow. The dragon is introduced, it goes on a journey, changes colour, flips over, and it flies into screen, and that is the end. And that is how to create a stop motion animation in the style of Terry Gilliam.